Cool. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, word. Let's do this. Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of, that's right, On Screen, Lovecraft Country. It's the bomb. Y'all know the deal. People in the chat. It's good to see y'all. Beautiful sunshiny faces. But right here, to my right, probably your left, or however it flips. I don't know. But you may know him as the one and only Stone Cold Steve Austin training. Also, Muhammad Ali training, and award-winning martial arts MMA champ himself, Nate Miller.
That's me, MMA champ, trainer, fighter extraordinaire. Excited to be here. Left my very busy gym so I can make it over to talk about this show.
And in the bottom square, we have the one and only novelist that has not only won Times Man of the Year, you know about that, but also the Nobel Peace Prize. I present to you Clement Bryant.
It's good. I'm tired of saying why you get a lot of the people.
He's like, it's true. He's like, it's all true.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I'm gonna bask in my glory. No, I'm just playing. This was an episode, man. It was kind of a different kind of vibe, but
yeah, it was kind of heavy. I'll say this. Usually you guys get this kind of energy on Fridays. I'll just say this about the episode and then we'll get into it. Black gun ownership is very important. That's all I'll say. You know, I know people might be indifferent or whatever. All I'm saying is sometimes you may need the tools to be able to tell someone, hey, you're meeting force with force. Mm-hmm. So back up. That's all I'm saying. So into the episode. How are you guys feeling?
I literally just finished it maybe like 5 minutes ago. So I am still kind of unpacking it. But my first reaction is, man, I cried. I think I said it into the group chat, but I cried. That part where you saw Letty with Montrose's mother in the room, and the fire's burning around, and then she starts, praying. I was just like, it really hit me hard. And I think I'll say this: Michael K. Williams is the standout of this episode because the trauma, man, the trauma that the character of Montrose felt from the whippings of his father to seeing his friend get, killed in front of him, and then having to, fight off all those white guys in the square, man. Like, I really, really felt bad for him more than any other episode that I've seen in the past. I know Montrose is a controversial figure with us, but
Montrose has been all right for 2 episodes.
Right.
Now, all right. I'll give him 2. He's been cool for 2.
But man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and like whole episode, man, I was just like, it's like putting my head down. I had to pause it because like it really hit me hard.
Word. Shouts out to the chat. We got Patsy Soto, Spence in the house, me on YouTube, I guess. Yeah, or whatever. I probably messed up your name, but it ain't my fault.
Sorry that he messed up your name.
Corey Toombs in the house. The Montrose stuff, man. Yeah, it's kind of like we talked about before. Like, how bad? If you think this is bad, how much worse was his father or her mother? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you wonder, not to say that, we're just excusing it, but it's like, yo, man, that in public is a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level of shame and embarrassment. And that's a whole, and shouts out to Lala from Black Lightning.
I was going to say that. I'm glad you clocked that.
But Nate, how you feeling?
It was good. It was a good penultimate episode. I'm always wary of time travel introduced in stories because there's just so much like messiness that comes with it. But I think for the most part, they did a good job of handling it. It was a very emotional episode in terms of like these journeys we've been on with these characters and kind of seeing a lot of those character arcs kind of come to fruition, like specifically Montrose. Yeah, and again, like this is the second series I've covered now, within the last year that features a prominent plot that revolves around the Tulsa massacre. So like, it's kind of, I don't know, like I think they used it very well, and I think it was like that the shot you see when they first get there and you see like this great beautiful like street with all these businesses, and then the shot with Montrose looking over it completely like being destroyed, like is very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I like, aside from like the plot implications of it, like I like seeing that kind of thing on TV and having that be like something that is talked about and like the implication on the characters. And I don't know. There was a lot I liked about this episode. I think it was done really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing, the whole the whole part with Tulsa, because you saw the name of the episode is like Rewind 1921. I'm like, I think we go into Tulsa, and because they didn't really give us a lot of that. I don't think they gave us any in the preview or whatever. And seeing them go back, it is. I don't know. Sometimes I flow between this is, it's beautiful to see this, as far as like before the complete massacre happens. But then sometimes I wonder how much are we flowing into entertainment. But if the stories aren't told, just like with Watchmen, there are a lot of people that was like, did this really happen? It's like, yes. And actually, Tulsa is probably the most known town. But at that time, there were multiple towns that were destroyed, for lack of a better word, because at that time, it was like, we're not going to serve you. We're not going to let you buy from us. We're not going to let you. So black people would have to go build their own little towns and stuff. And
buy from their own businesses and everything.
And buy from their own businesses and things like that. So, a lot of times, before Watchmen and stuff, I would hear certain proponents from certain directions say, why don't you just pull yourself up from your bootstraps and make your own business? It's like, we did.
Right.
You killed us for it.
Right.
But seeing this is tough on a lot of levels, because the second, like you said, when Montrose goes back, immediately all these memories start flooding back. And once again, it's kind of like trauma that you thought you kind of dealt with, but you really didn't. You just grew up. Mm-hmm. It's like you never really got closure. You never really dealt with it. You just grew up and got older and semi-forgot about it because you weren't immersed in it. And then going back and even seeing his father and having Tick see his father was crazy, because I think it did bring a lot of, a lot of meaning and context into sort of what built the man that kind of built you to a certain degree. Right.
And I think there's the theme of, when your parents talk about the stuff they went through, you never really, because you never see it, you're hearing about it secondhand, right? This, I think, kind of helped mend their relationship a little bit, because Tick not only got the realization that he might not be he might not be Montrose's kid, but also the fact of, you go back in time, someone else is depending on you to come back for them, and he's somewhat drunk, and so Tick is getting it twice as much in this episode. And then when he starts to see his father, the young version of his father, get beat in public, I think you kind of adds a little bit of context to what your parents went through. And we don't get that as sons and daughters of our parents. So I think maybe this is gonna at least mend those bridges a little bit, I would hope. But
I think so.
Seeing it happen, I'm like, man, like that touched on me, So, and like I said, I just finished the episode, but like just seeing that happen, and also his father almost beating the neighbor's kid was a whole nother issue too.
Because that showed whatever was wrong with Tick's granddad.
Yeah.
I had to keep remembering because since we time travel, I have to be like, all right, family tree, go up one step, okay. but yeah, he was ready to jump off on Dora, and I was like, whoa, this ain't your kid. And
chill.
And the funny thing is, I'm probably the last generation where someone besides your parents could still tap that butt, but still, I was like, no, hold up, this isn't a spanking. You are whipping this child with, this ain't even a switch. This ain't even a switch.
It's a branch.
I got a switch when I was younger. That was a baby branch, all right? That wasn't no switch. That was a full branch.
I'll tell you. I mean, it
was tough to watch that.
It was tough, and I mean, my mom was so strong she didn't need a switch. Her hand was all she needed. So I'm like no, when she just like, my mom was just like, raise the hand, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. So, but yeah, man, just this whole thing, and I love how Hippolyta just came back like it was nothing.
Yo,
she just came back.
It kind of makes sense the way she came back, because since you're dealing with time like that, it's kind of like, all right, I don't have time to lose because I've been here, I've been there, I've been experienced, blah, blah, blah. We got to do this. Yeah. And people are like, huh? But of course, from her, she said she spent like approximately 200 years. So when she comes back, she's like, we got to do this. We got to do all these things. And they're like, huh? Hold up. We didn't even know where you was. So it was cool to see. She was like, I don't need no key. I got this. I got technology in my arm. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm going to fix it. And I was just like, oh, snap. Like, so she came back with a vengeance, or maybe not a vengeance, but definitely with a mission.
I just love that energy, man. Nate, you've been quiet. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, Nate, you've been sneaking. You've been creeping on this.
I'm sure you guys are talking. I'm trying not to interrupt.
Oh boy,
I respect it.
Nate about to drop something on us.
Let's get into it.
No, I don't.
Let me get my pose ready.
What are we talking about? Like, what specifically are we?
Well, at this time we're covering the Tulsa area before we go to Back to the Future. But I did want to ask Nate what you thought about this. Since now we know the stranger with the bat is Tick, could we be caught in a time loop without knowing it? Are we watching part of a time loop? Or are we supposed to just, because I mean, as someone who loves Star Trek,
I've seen I hate time travel.
I was gonna say that. Exactly that.
I don't think it's a time loop as much as it. I hate this stuff so much. In order to stay consistent, okay, if Tick saved them, right, and that's why they lived, and that happened in the past, when he goes back, he has to save them because that's already happened, right? So like, it's not so much that he chose to do that as much as it already happened. So I wouldn't as much call that a loop as much as it's just being,
because we don't know if it was him the first time. So
no, it was him. It was him. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So like.
See?
I'm trying to explain it. So think of it like, so that happened to them, right? Like they were attacked, Tick saved them.
Yeah.
That happened. That already happened before Tick was born, all right? So then later Tick goes back in time, he has to do that, not because it's the right thing to do or whatever, because that's what already happened. Does that make sense? Kind of like, it's not so much that it's a loop, it's that's what happened. That's what it was. Like the reason why things are the way they are now is because that already happened in the past.
Yes, but if the question that comes with time travel is, if it already happened, then technically, what happened before then to make Tick come back to, you have to ask that question.
No.
Or maybe you don't. Nate's like, no, you don't.
No, and this is this is the problem with time travel in general, is like there's different theories about how time works, if it is
True,
or if it's linear. At least with what's been presented, this is an example of like linear time travel, right? Like time is like this. There's the beginning and there's the end, and it moves forward only in that direction. Now, if you subvert that and you go back in time, and you change something, you're still on that line, right? In the way that they have presented it, this is, which is also still kind of contradictory, because there is also the introduction of multiverses as well. So like that also is like, right, but that's not.
Pretty much let it go.
But the thing is, they specifically make this is not an alternate universe's past. Yeah, this is the past of the Earth and universe that they are in. So like that, they made a point to mention that. So it's not so much that like this is like repeating, or like this is just what happened. Like when you from A B C.
Yeah. Word. And shouts out to the chat. Corey Toom said, I wouldn't think too deep about it. They were going for emotional impact rather than being technical. And then me on YouTube, I guess, I don't know, said, Looper said, don't think too hard about it. And that's how Looper,
that's right.
Looper, even though I've never seen Looper.
I actually disagree. I think Looper is one of the best implementation of time travel in film, because of its implementation and how it actually backs up the theories that it presents. It's very consistent in its presentation. That's one of the few films I would actually make the argument for it's consistent in its time travel.
I'll give you that. Star Trek 2009.
And then of course Richard Cheney in the house said time is a flat circle.
Flat circle. Oh man.
So you have that. You have the moment with the grandmother or great grandmother. I think great grandmother. You have that moment where she saw, she was like, I knew something was wrong with you. I ain't never seen no shoes like that. So I like that. But the moment that they had with each other, where she had to just be real with her. And when she got real with her, she ain't stupid. She was like, what happens to us? She was like, we don't make it out of this, do we?
There was no like A, B, C. She went from like A to D, right? Just like she understood it. She immediately picked up on it. And like that's why you gotta respect it, man. But like that thing of, what we do for our kids and our ancestors came really, really relevant with this episode. And I think as much as Letty knew that she was invincible, it had to be hard as hell to see, basically, I don't even know what the term is, like, just like to see someone burn to death like that. And not because of an accident, because of hate and because of, white supremacy, so the way the scene was beautiful, but man, I couldn't watch it because I became like just a blubbering baby when I was watching it.
It was tough to watch. And then seeing her walk, I'm on the fence with this one. Let me know what you think about this, Nate. Seeing her walk down the street, I'm on the fence. One side, I was like, oh man, this is cool the way they're showing it. But on the other hand, I'm like, but in reality though, shouldn't she be rushing? Like, I know this is cool for the shot, but shouldn't she be kind of getting a little hustle? Like a little, how you do that little baby jog to get across the street? Like at least a little something.
But she also doesn't necessarily know that Hippolyta is like
you're right.
failing, and she is, invulnerable, so she doesn't exactly have to run from the white people. So
cool.
I do agree with you though. I think it would have just made more sense to just have her run, if anything, just to try to hurry back or whatever. Like they're not invulnerable, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree. But also like I can't even. I again, like I understand. I'm trying not to look too hard because I understand the emotional like impact, but like there is no way she stays in that house and watches that woman burn to death. Like, and on top of it being incredibly traumatizing, like it would take a significant amount of time. She'd be screaming in like awful screaming. The smoke in the air would like the smoke would mess you up before even the fire would. She would have passed out. Like the smell of the burning body, like it would have been substantial. So I think her staying there was a little bit dramatic. I understand why, like, she's sacrificing herself essentially, kind of,
So I guess in that case, but just let it slide. Let it slide.
I guess I'm like whatever.
Oh,
but also
she should be like traumatized for life, like even more than seeing monsters and stuff. Like watching someone burn alive in front of you is like, okay, wow.
And I think the other thing like that the chat is bringing up, like, and I thought about this earlier, but me on YouTube says, so the Hannah dream was actually a premonition. Remember a couple episodes back where Letty was in the house and she was in Tick's position and she sees Hannah at the end of the door with the book and Letty starts burning to death. I think she was also kind of at least having a recollection of that moment as she's watching Tick's great grandmother burn to death, but also as she's walking back to the house to leave 1921. So, and I didn't think about this because all I was saying during that scene, I was like, Letty, why are you walking? You need to get the hustle on. I know you got that gasoline in you, girl. Like, bro. But then I'm like, oh, wait.
I know you chilling, and I know we want this to look cool, but
I'm like,
kind of gotta go.
Come on, let's go.
Because you saw how Hippolyta was moving. Hippolyta came in, she was like, all right, cool, grab this. I've been over here, I need the key, gotta do this, click on that, press these buttons, we gotta go fix the thing because we gotta do things. She was like, we saw a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
But with that said, I did like the, going back and kind of how they had to deal and seeing and experiencing, what his parents or their sort of like their lineage had to go through. But I also thought it was interesting with the whole thing with Tick. Like, he was like, so my mama cheated on you? And it's one of those things where it's like, when you're an adult and you start asking questions to your great aunts and your great uncles and your grandmama and your mama and stuff, and the answers might not be this pretty package that you wanted it to be. Right. Or the person that you've been mad at, it might be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It might be, because he found out, maybe, mama won't this perfect saint that I thought she was. Not to say that she's horrible, this, vile person, but this pedestal I had her on, maybe, what I'm saying? Maybe this man that I'm staring in his face, hating him all the time, helped me put her up there because he didn't want to, mar her memory. You know what I'm saying? Right. And maybe you got to give him a little props for that, for helping maintain her memory for a boy that loved her. You know what I'm saying? It gets weird in that stuff, but
it does. It does. And like Uncle George isn't like as good as Uncle George was. He wasn't a saint either. You know what I mean? So as we saw with that episode, a couple episodes back, when he realized that he was part of the problem with Hippolyta's life. And also the fact of everything that through Tick. So as good as he is, he's not a saint. So, and I think that comes full circle when Montrose tells him at the end of the episode, I always wanted to be your daddy. Mm-hmm. Like that scene.
That was
really good. It
did kind of hit me, man.
Scene.
Montrose
was like,
Montrose is working. Montrose is working on trying to get me on his side. He's doing some things. It's still only 2 episodes to like, I don't know, 6, 7, whatever. But he's working on me. And I'm like, hey, I'm willing to hear you out.
I think that line also though is like more nuanced than most people realize, because yes, like on one hand, like he loves him, he wants to be his father, and care for him and stuff. But he also, just before that, was talking about how like you have a son because that's what men do, right? So for him, being Tick's father was also about, for him, affirming himself, right? And this person that he thought that he should be because he didn't like who he was, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about how that, he died with Thomas, his friend, who was killed, his lover, back then, and that part of him never came back. And like this whole time has been trying to, like, he felt like if I have a son, then maybe my dad will be proud. Maybe I will feel like I am the man, a right kind of a thing. So yeah, I think they've done an incredible job. This is something I talked about very early, that they haven't, they've been setting him up for this kind of arc, which I think is great, because I think, this is the real life. Like,
you were prophetic, man. You called it, Nate.
It's not that. It's just good writing. It's really good writing and good character development. And, you can see it, especially in a show like this where there's, only 10 episodes and each one is an hour and they're packed full of content, right? So like nothing is in there on accident. So when you have a character like that, who in general, like when you introduce them, is not very likable, but then you start to get more information about them and the lines become kind of blurry. Like, to me, that reads as like, all right, we're going to get some type of redemption arc. And that doesn't diminish the enjoyment at all for me. Like, I think it was an incredible payoff to what we've seen for the season. For me, this episode felt a lot like if you're watching a movie and like the first episode was like the first 45 minutes in the movie, and this episode is like the middle act of the movie, and like next one will be like the finale, and like all the episodes in between, great stuff, but it's all kind of like they could kind of just like explain it away and like sprinkle it in if this was just like a 2-hour movie or whatever. So I really enjoyed like the pace of it and how it was moving the plot forward while still kind of giving us this character progression. It was good. It made me really excited for the finale too. Like, they've done a great job of like setting these things up and all these pieces and telling us what's going to happen. And only now are the pieces that they've laid from episode 1 finally actually starting to come together. Like, we've seen them kind of explained and fleshed out, but now we're actually seeing kind of like what the whole, for lack of a better term, like what the whole point of the show is about.
Right.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I like how, Nate's talking about the character development. I love how the show started with, 3 main characters all being touched by magic in this world outside of the racism and everything. But now you have everyone in the show has been touched at some point by magic, sci-fi plot, time travel, whatever you have it be. Everyone's been touched by it. That's really good character generation. It's not like some shows, only, a handful of characters are in on the main plot, right? Now you have everyone touched by what's going on at different parts, but everyone's been touched by it. Yeah. I really dig that.
Word. So let's go back to the future, because we got a little juiciness there. I'll set it off by saying, man, Christina better be careful with Ruby, because Ruby. She got Ruby on her side now. But Ruby been calling that joint. She said, look, hold up, my mama a hustler. She lied. Look, people been lying to me all my life. She's like, so before you start spinning this wheel, like, give it to me straight. You came to me because you needed a second option. Then Christine was like, oh, well, I caught you with another lie. Then she was like, you gonna kill Tick, ain't you? Now, to Ruby's point or Ruby's request, don't you think protecting Letty but letting her kill Tick, don't you think that's going to hurt Letty? Like, don't hurt my sister. Killing Tick is going to hurt your sister. I don't know if you know that. It's going to hurt your sister. Big Brother Nate, if you could, give me some insight into your feelings about Ruby and Christina right now, riding deep in the whip. You know what I'm saying? Lean back with the windows down.
I don't know. The whole thing's kind of weird to me. To be honest, like, I'm waiting to see how the season wraps up, but in general, I'm really not kind of happy with the implementation of Christina's character. She just kind of seems to like pop in whenever it's convenient to like have someone who actually knows magic. And like, it makes sense for the plot, but like, I don't know. I'm just not, especially with her implementation in this episode. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Like, I want to feel like Ruby in the end is gonna like have Letty's back and like help them, but also I feel like Ruby's could not, and could like actually like stick with Christina and then be an actual threat for them. Like I'm not exactly sure where it's gonna go.
I'm with that.
Yeah, because Ruby definitely, they're doing a good job of putting in a situation where I don't know where she might end up on this one. So I don't know how she's going to go. And nobody said maybe next episode they'll focus on Christina and her motivation. But I mean, would it be fair to say next episode is too late? You know, then next episode. I mean, we're in episode 10. Like,
not necessarily.
Basically,
I don't.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't think they're going to focus on her. I wouldn't necessarily that it would be too late to do that. Like they have kind of, with the exception of the last few episodes, each episode's kind of been focused on one person. So I could kind of see that, you know, giving her perspective to kind of understand a little bit more of her motivation, like what her plan is and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this show will do that though. Like it does, like to me, it doesn't seem like giving the like main white woman character like and POV show really kind of aligns with the themes of the show. But I don't know, maybe. I mean, I definitely think we'll get more information on her. I don't think it will be like from her perspective or heavily feature her as much as, you know, she's the main bad guy right now. So like she has to be in it. It's the finale.
Clement?
I personally think it's a little bit too late since we like outside of, you know, the main characters, we spent a lot of time with Christina, and that whole elevation that William is Christina and Christina is William was a big thing. So I'm open to it, but I'm also think it's a little tad too late considering like we've gone pretty much back to 1921 to save D. And I think the other part of that we need to talk about is D was a big part of this episode. She might have not been in it, but the whole reason
like
why
in
they
spirit,
went back,
the energy, yeah.
Right. So I'm open to it, but I personally think it's a little bit too late for my storytelling taste, but who knows what they're going to do because they've managed to kind of subvert our expectations along the way. So I think anything is fair game at this point.
Yeah, at least, you know, we do have the book. So D's going to be all right.
Hopefully.
Well, we assume,
Hopefully.
you know what I mean? Because,
hopefully,
you know, now we have the book of names. We got the big Joker. We got the Trump card right now. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter no little baby pages. Technically, she gave her negatives of the pages, so we both have pages. But we have the book of names, which is a whole nother level. So it's like, you know, actually we're kind of in a good place, except for the fact that Tick is going to have to give himself up, you know, on the autumnal equinox. But you never know. Maybe we can whip up something with the book of names. So, you know, I don't know, the spell backfires and turns her into dust like a daddy. I don't know. I don't know. Just let's go through the index and see what we got in there. It's a big book. There's a lot of stuff to read. But
I mean,
we go through it and check it out.
To be fair, like what the chat is saying, I'm not saying that they haven't explained the plot or like they haven't explained Christina's motivation because they have. She's the daughter.
She wants to be immortal, you know.
Well, even beyond that, she wants to feel validated because she's a very talented at magic, but because she's a woman, she's never been able to like penetrate the inner circle, right? So she's kind of getting her own revenge on these people. So like there is some motivation, you know, and the thing with her and William too, like I definitely would like it to be fleshed out, but it's not completely not there. We should talk about Lancaster too.
Yeah.
Talk about that in the chat.
So with Lancaster, back to No One Nobody, who said earlier, Christina got her revenge on Lancaster. And I guess you could say William too, in a way, sort of, you know, I guess vicariously or something like that. But it did my heart good to see him crouched in the corner, you know, all beat up, looking crusty, with his chest exploding and stuff. It was nice. I was like, ha, that's what you get for spitting on D. Well, and also cursing her, but you know what I'm saying. You know, in general, it was good to see him hurt up like that. And it was interesting to see the guy say, we did the spell multiple times. We did it. I don't know what's happening. And see, like this is what happens when magic goes wrong. When your chest is like, ow.
Oh, that was gross. Like I was like, ugh.
He was like, we did everything we're supposed to do. Oh man, so
that scene was weird for me because like,
come on, Nate,
what did Christina gain at the end of that? Like nothing. And he basically died last week, except not really, just for him to die at the beginning of this episode. Like it was like they killed him last week, and then for this week they were like, "Oh shoot, we forgot we had that one episode where Christina had Ruby go put that thing in the drawer, and we never came back to that. So we have to bring him back so we can like the curse thing. That's part of it. Like, come on, dude.
I knew it, Nate. I could feel it. I could feel it in the air.
Look, I'm glad that he's dead, but it was just like, oh, he survived just to die right now. And Christina doesn't gain anything materially that we see in the scene. She just does. And also he knows that it's Christina and William's body.
Well, I mean, I guess,
she was just happy to see him die. I think that was happy to see the man die. And
she got the satisfaction of like kind of like, I guess, gloating before his death. Like,
right.
The last couple of moments, I did this to you.
I understand it. Plot-wise,
because of what he did to Dee. That's also like that.
I don't know about that, but
I did this to you.
Plot-wise, he is able to like stitch his body back together and reanimate. So she needed him to take an injury after absorbing the curse and then be unable to fix himself, because that was the extent of the magic as she explained it, right? It was like a reverse of the immortality like invulnerable thing, seal thing, right? So instead of it regenerating you and bringing you back, she reversed it so that when you're hurt it just makes it worse. So she needed him to get killed or be injured or something so that when he tried to replace it, he would be unable to. So it makes sense from a plot perspective. It just seems kind of contrived. Like, I don't know, especially in an episode like of this length, dude. Like,
yeah,
come on, dude. There's so much stuff going on.
That's why I love having Nate on.
And also,
boy.
like, it'd be different too if she went in and then like she took something out of the office, or she was like, "All right, now you guys work for me," or like. But we got none of that. Like she lived.
Because those other guys did kind of just shut up and chill.
Now you're dead. Cut away. Never cut back to the scene again.
She was like, I did this to you. And then the other dudes, because I was wondering, I was like, where the other guys go? I guess they just standing there like.
They're just chilling. They're like, what we gonna do?
Like, he dead. He dead.
Also, great callback with the white lady in the coma being in a coma because Letty hit her over the head with the shit.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, yeah,
it's like she's in the coma. What happened? Oh, Letty busting her head.
Your sister happened.
It's like, oh yeah, your sister hit her in the head with a shovel. So it's because it's funny when they went down there and she went behind them with like the dogs or whatever and the shotgun. I was like, where's Letty? Like, that was the first thing I asked. See, that's how you know she was stupid. Because if she was smart, she would have been like, hold up, there's 3 of y'all. She would have had her head on a swivel. But nah. She was filled with that rage and racism.
Head on a swivel.
And
I also want to say too.
And then Letty was like, Kaka.
What you got, Nate?
In response to the gun thing that you said at the beginning, Mike, I do think that people should arm themselves to protect themselves. But I do also want to point out that they did have guns and it didn't help them. Like they had guns, they shot back and they still got burnt down the house. The whole thing of Tulsa got destroyed. So like, yes, protect yourself, arm yourself, learn, have education, be safe. But I just want to be clear, at least for my sake, that I don't think more guns equals safety. That's not. I don't think that's how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah, I disagree with that totally. Yes, they still died. That's going to happen sometimes. But I'd much rather, if I am somewhere or even at my home, and someone comes to my home, especially like that scene, especially like, because Jim Crow South is not that long ago. Someone comes to my house and says, hey, I want to harm you, and I have this tool, and I know you don't have it. I could say, ha ha ha, no, I have this tool as well. Now we are on equal footing, or maybe lopsided footing, depending on the tool that I have as opposed to yours. I'm sorry, I'm not. No, look, we have a right. We have a right to own one. Everybody loves exercising all their rights. Why we don't love exercising this particular right? Also, once again, you need to protect yourself because they have the ability to protect themselves, and there's no reason for you to be running around all scared when you can stand your ground as well. Does that mean that there won't be a state-sanctioned attack like Tulsa where they had airplanes and stuff dropping bombs on you? Of course that can happen. But would I rather have one and not need it than not have it? I would rather have it.
I'm gonna break up this conversation. I'm gonna break up this conversation because there is no winning this conversation.
Oh no! So, I mean, I'm not trying to sway anybody's. Okay. If you don't like guns, you don't like guns, and don't get them. All I'm saying is, for me, I'd rather have it and not need it.
Yeah, and you're totally right in your feelings. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not anti-gun. I don't think like guns are necessarily bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like I have like, don't get me wrong. Like, protect your family, like by any means necessary. But all I'm trying to say is that to use this as an example of like, see, this is why you have to have guns. Like, I don't think that this is a good example of that because the guns didn't help them.
Well, and no, before they came with the mob, remember they were chasing
my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So translate that to today. I don't care who you are. If you shoot some white dude who's coming in your house and you're black, it's going to be a problem. Even if you're in the right, it's going to be that man, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, dealing with it right now. They busted in his house, started shooting at him, and he shot back. And look at what's happening to him. So the rules aren't the same for us, even if you got a gun in your hand. That's what I'm saying. If you now have a gun to protect your health, like that's fine. This is a whole other discussion we could have. But like,
that's why I'm trying to.
I'm not saying
it's very nuanced.
I'm not saying the rules are not this. I'm not saying the rules are the same. But before the mob arrived, they were chasing Letty. When they met force with force, what did they do? They turned around. If there was no force for them to meet, they would have continued.
And then they came back. And then they came back with more guns and fire bombs and planes with napalm. What are you talking about,
because it was
man?
It was state sanctioned.
I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it because I'm gonna pause it because we are three smart brothers talking about a great show. And I will say, as the third party here, guns have their time and place. War, okay, fine.
I agree. Also,
but Nate is also right. The whole Breonna Taylor situation is a really effed up situation that, you know, we as black people, we are
legal advice
immediately disadvantaged. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to be the neutral third party. I'm going to be Switzerland right here. And I'm going to be like, let's talk about what happened to D. Because also, I want to talk about those graphics, what happened to D. All the worms and the gnats coming out of her arm, that was disgusting.
You got to cleanse it.
And see,
thank you for
got to cleanse it.
Like,
gotta clean it out.
See, I have a value in this conversation. Anyways, now y'all got me doing the presidential thing again, okay? But like, that was disgusting.
Okay, Bombay.
No, stop it. Anyways, I'm gonna make my point. Okay, it was not. Nate, why are you parroting?
Whoa.
Anyways, that was disgusting. But I hate every show, originals, Vampire Diaries, every witch show that makes someone cut their hand. I just can't deal with it. I just can't.
Cut it up.
But I kind of want to talk to you guys about, like, did you guys see that happening with D? Her turning into one of those like freaky, one of those freaky girls from the last episode. Because
I did see she started to look a little bit like him. So it's a good thing we turned.
She had the hair, she had the eyes, she had the lipstick, the Joker lipstick, everything. Like
nasty,
man. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that.
It was nasty.
I think it's another great example of how good the special effects and the practical effects are on this show. And I'm glad that we got to see like a bit of the change before it went back, and like what physically happened to her as she was kind of like floating in between the I guess like the crazy girl and just back to regular D. So I do like that they showed that, because it was kind of like a flex of like, yo, this is how good this show is. You know what I'm saying? Like this is how nice we are. But it also shows the torment that she's going through since last episode. Especially when you're dealing with the whole room full of people kind of like angry about what's going on. I will say one thing about Ruby though. Why did Ruby act like she wasn't part of this too? She was she was like, all of y'all. I was like, whoa, you two? You two, you was there. Let's not act like you was in another state and this happened. You were right there with D2. Stop it. Ruby trying to act like she. All of y'all. This is all y'all. Whoa. Us.
I knew you were going to bring that up, and I think she was trying to be the calmer head out of everybody in the room, because
how you gonna be calm and wrong?
I mean, first of all, but like, okay, Letty was mad at Montrose. Montrose was mad at Letty. Tick was mad at Letty had her own stuff against Tick. You needed someone to be like, y'all need to, because you have a little teenage girl here that's about to die from a magical curse that we cannot see. That, you know, we don't know, like, we are clearly outmatched her, and the only other person that can help is Christina. As much as no one wants to deal with Christina, she had to be the calmer head in the room because everyone had issues with himself. So that's what I was saying.
Shouts to Mosley said calm and unaccountable. Yo.
I mean, she's not really involved though.
She's involved a little bit, but not in the sense of not in
the way that everybody else is directly involved in what's going on with D. So to a degree, she's right. To a degree. Ruby's been around, but Ruby's been doing her own thing.
A little bit.
Ruby has nothing to do. Went missing. Ruby was there.
But this was.
She was there.
This was set in motion long before Ruby was there, right? Like this was set in motion when Tick went after his dad. Like that's the whole reason. Like even later than that, like they find the comic that Hippolyta left. Like they were going to get. Get to her regardless of whether or not Ruby was there. So Ruby had nothing.
Mosley said she was watching D while Hippolyta was gone. Corey Toom said Ruby was the designated babysitter. Like. Come on, man. I'm not saying. All I'm saying is she was trying to act like she ain't know nothing.
Yo, this is a funny episode for y'all.
I was like, Ruby, my dude. Like, Ruby, stop it. Like, you was there.
Look, all I'm saying is, if we're in a house, Mike, and you start the fire, okay, and I have the fire extinguisher, and I forget to put the fire out, all right, it's still your fault that the house was on fire. Because you lit the fire.
Wait, are we starting to go to like Billy Joel? Who's going to start the fire?
We didn't start the fire? It's like, look. Ruby was there. The babysitter. The one charged with taking care of this young lady and making sure she was safe. And think about this. Everybody went looking for D. What she do? She went looking for some D. All right? So stop it. I don't want to hear it.
Wow.
Ruby, get out of here. No, Ruby. You're cut off. You're cut off. Guess what? Rib sandwich coming back on Tuesday, Ruby. Guess who ain't getting one? That's right. You're cut off.
Wow. Okay. Damn. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm a little
Is that what happened?
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what happened.
It's like, damn. That's all I had to say right now. Okay. But Damn.
Oh man.
Okay. Anyways, but Hippolyta's hair. Hippolyta went full storm in that scene, raising up in
Yo.
there, eyeballs going white, and then
Had,
hair
like, all
started
kind of
blue. I was
foam.
like, the comic book was such good foreshadowing. I loved it, and I loved how Christina brought it back up in the beginning of this episode too. When she was reading, she's like, she's got incredible attention to detail, everything. Like, I loved it, and I know Nick, I know you picked up on that.
Nate.
I thought it was dumb.
Nate.
Oh,
See, this is why we have
This
Nate
is
on
very,
here.
this is very,
Nate
this is
gonna
very
be like,
fan
I hate
servicey.
it.
Like, oh, you know, it would be great while she's operating the time machine with the future devices from Earth 504, 200 years in the future that she somehow brought back with her while she time traveled, and now she's plugged herself into the matrix that is the time machine, but it's now making foam come out of her mouth, and oh no, she's floating, and now her hair is turning blue. Like, okay, dude. Like, when you're doing sci-fi fantasy, right? Like, the willing suspension of disbelief, you can only put so much weight on that before it starts to like crease and be
you
like,
really think that's what happened though?
I
mean,
just don't. I
tell
just
you, boy,
don't like,
Nate.
She's holding a portal up, bro. She's holding a portal up.
Nate has made a stone come in. He ain't gonna listen.
But what does that have to do with
The
turning
man
her
has made
hair
a stone.
blue, man? What does that have to
Maybe
do
it
with
will
turning
be
her hair-
explained in the next episode.
Well, no, it was
All
the
right.
power.
Well, we'll
it was the
see.
power
We'll
of
see
the
in the next
vortex or whatever
episode.
flowing through
I'm
her.
just saying,
Yeah.
maybe they'll explain it. But like the fact this woman is holding a portal up with her
Yes.
body, okay,
A multi-dimensional,
With her body.
multi-time
multi-verse.
thing.
Actually,
Here we go. Come on, Nate. What you got?
Comment. Corey Tube said maybe her blue hair form is her ultimate form.
yeah. she's
Maybe.
Like,
Yo.
This isn't my ultimate form.
Super Saiyan
Maybe
Hippolyta
it's
4.
Yo,
I knew you were
why
gonna
this
go
can't be
with
her
the
ultimate
Dragon Ball
form?
reference.
Yo, why can't it be her ultimate form?
All right.
See,
sure.
you just gotta say a little disbelief.
You guys are just mad that you're capping for the show because you like the fan service that it referenced the comic book. Like, you know, there is no plot or story like relevance to her hair turning
Wait,
blue.
you know I'm talking about Dee's comic book, right? The one.
Yes.
Comic book.
Yes.
Man, I can't with you tonight. My
Yo,
blood sugar's already low. Like, because I didn't eat during Lovecraft Country.
Okay, it's cool. I'm not like, oh my god, her hair is blue, just like in the book.
We didn't do that, Nate. It's
We
like really
didn't.
didn't.
We
We didn't act like that.
Oh my god, this is better
See?
than Game of Thrones.
See, look, now
Man,
Nate trying to like
man.
oversell it
What do
because
you
we didn't even
want?
do
Her
that.
hair turned
must be
blue.
fun at Comic-Cons
Who
and all that.
cares?
We ain't even do that. We ain't even go that far.
I'm glad you guys had your time.
Pause. Me and you said I gotta admit, I love the fan service. I love that. Like, that whole thing came full circle.
The callback
yes.
to the comic was way cooler when she was actually traveling through time and she was in the suit in space, and like her spaceship was George's truck, but like designed as a spaceship. That was cool fan service. That was a cool Easter egg because we're traveling through time. That was a cool reference. The blue hair thing, like I said,
but also
cool fan service. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it didn't do anything for me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I respect that. But for me, symbolically, that means like she, again, ultimate form, but also what she did to not her daughter, but to bring Montrose and Tick and Letty back. Like, that is some powerful ish, right?
Yo.
And
I thought she was gonna die. I'm still thinking that she might like.
I thought
she'd be
looking very good.
We saw her in the preview for next episode. She's up there on the bridge fighting next episode that we saw in a little preview. She's gonna be fine. But like as soon
me on YouTube said
back,
serve me.
She powered down. Like I was like respect. Like
Yo,
I was like
man.
that also talks about the power of the black woman. Okay, so that's who I'll work for me. Okay.
Yo, look,
I mean,
guys,
just saying.
All right, everybody in the chat. Just so y'all know, if y'all brand new, Nate likes dunking on us when we get like super hype on something.
Yeah.
He like dunking on us because we'll be like, "Oh man, that was so cool." Her hair got blue.
You can have
I never liked it.
Fans.
I never liked it because
you guys asked me how I felt about the blue hair. I'm telling you, to me, it felt like fan service,
Tell you
and it
what.
didn't do much for me. It doesn't serve the plot as far as we know of. Like, so I don't care.
You
I don't
see,
think it's a
as
bad
far as
thing.
you know.
I don't think it as far as I know, I haven't seen the rest of the show. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it ruins the show. If you liked it, if that fed your
It's
soul,
fair. I respect
Clement,
the opinion.
I am
respect
glad
the
for you.
opinion.
I'm happy
I
for you.
respect. I respect.
Look,
Man,
I'm
just
not.
so-
What do you want me to like pretend like I'm excited because you guys are excited? Like, no,
I just thought you would like. I'm
do that.
surprised. I thought you would like it. I just
No.
thought you would like that foreshadowing a
No.
little bit.
No,
No,
the foreshadowing
you
of the
oversold it.
the
You
foreshadowing
oversold
of
it
the
with
comic.
like, come on, come on.
I was just like, oh
just
man.
like, look,
I love you, Nate.
I wish,
you, bro.
I wish,
We
bro,
brothers, we good.
bro,
We good.
I
We good.
wish that I could just enjoy things, man. Trust me, I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't, dog. I can't.
It's all good, dog. It's all good.
It's
We
cool,
here,
you know
we
what I'm
here.
saying? I mean,
We still brothers.
if you hate Lovecraft Country, it's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
it's
come on. Here we go.
See, okay, so Nate Switzerland. Wait, no,
headline for Monday morning. Nate hates Jordan Peele,
Yeah,
Misha Green,
pretty much.
and Lovecraft Country.
I was doing the after show for Watchmen, and God forbid I said something bad about what's her name? I'm so bad with names. The
Who,
lead
Regina
on that
King?
show.
Regina
Yeah,
King?
I said
Oh.
I said something.
Oh, whoa.
It wasn't
whoa.
even bad. I said something that
Uh-oh.
wasn't like super stellar positive, and then I got a ton of like, "Yo, why do you hate Regina King?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I love Regina King."
You hate Regina King, Nate? Is that
see,
true?
Here we go. Yeah,
Is that true, Nate?
Okay, I'm
Tell us
not
the
going that
truth.
way with Nate. What Nate's basically saying is he reserves the right to be super critical on film and TV, and I respect it. I respect it, bro. If it wasn't for COVID, if we were doing this in person, like Hyper RPG, I'd be like fist by me because we good. But like, I'm just like that blue hair moment.
I want to know the truth, Nate. Can you tell the American people right now that you just hate Regina King and we can go and get past this? Can you tell the American people?
Wait.
Look,
I'm pausing
Regina.
that. There will
Look,
be no
Regina
fitting
King.
thing.
Regina King, stand back and stand by. Okay, that's what I'll say.
Wow. Oh my God.
Oh boy. Oh man. I don't even know where we're at on the show.
This episode better was just we get Vanessa, and Vanessa would just be like, Cap, whatever.
Oh man, the energy in here would be insane.
It would be ridiculous, man. Y'all, I was just saying we missed Vanessa Shark this week. But hilarious, man. Corey Tubes in the chat said it's okay, Nate. We all need that friend. Mostly Mosley said Nate is giving me quote unquote, but it is art vibes.
But is it art?
But is it
that tattooed
art?
on my forehead?
This show is art. Okay,
yes.
Is it
and that's
art?
the bottom line.
But is the blue hair art though?
Yes.
Yo, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Yo, you just wait. You wait till next episode when she power up. All right, squad up. Because she got like the time juice or whatever, and all the electromagnetic stuff in her arm, and then the hair is gonna be like, it's gonna be sweet. Watch, just wait,
man.
And then you gonna be like, oh snap! Man. I wish I wasn't hating last week.
Yeah. See, because the blue hair is like the blue in the sky, right? It represents
it's supercharged
freedom
with the energy of the multiverse, man.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Don't touch my hair.
I mean,
the
don't touch
Freemans.
anybody's hair. Don't touch anybody's hair because that's a violation of personal space.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? But man, this has been fun. This has been fun. Okay. Is there anything else we need to cover in this episode?
Yes, I believe we exercised the
Run and Letty again. Wait, we got Run and Letty again. We did get Run and Letty again at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
when the white dudes pulled up.
Yep, we got Run and Letty.
I was like,
we got Run and Letty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So props on that one. Right before we got like, I'm about to mess up the time stream Letty, but she didn't. She kind of did, but she didn't. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody died that was supposed to die, and everybody stayed alive that was supposed to. So it's all good. At least we think. We'll see what happens when we get to next episode. You know
Two things. Vera Morris in the chat said the blue hair means she's leveling up.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Level up. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Word. I like that. Okay. finale predictions. The season finale is next week, y'all. We're almost there. Predictions.
All right. I have a prediction.
Wait. I'm gonna go Nate first.
Oh yeah, Nate. What is your prediction, Nate? Can you speak to the American people right now and tell us your prediction?
Your opinion.
I want to say Michael K. Williams has given an incredible performance all season, but this episode in particular, watching him like go through the flashbacks in his mind, like that was incredible. It's like such good acting, dude. And like that scene too where we think that he's going to like stop it, but he has that monologue about like things can't change. Like that was just like that I did not see coming, and that was it. Just the performance was incredible. But as far as predictions, I don't know, like there's still so much in the air. I think we're gonna get maybe some type of magic battle or something. Like they're definitely gonna prepare themselves before they go to Artem for the Equinox thing, and I think they're gonna try to catch Christina off guard, but I'm sure she'll be expecting something. So I don't know, it's really hard to predict. I do think that Atik might actually die. I think it might be kind of like one of those, again, with the way that we saw the time, like with him going back in time to save them. Like this is a thing that actually like it's going to happen. It has already happened, kind of in the sense of that like Talk to Manhattan way of seeing time. And yeah, the thing with with the succubus too, with Gia, like her coming back last episode, and then we didn't see her at all this episode, so she has to be involved heavily in the next episode. Otherwise, like, why did they put us through the time that we did with her? So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. This is one of those shows where like I don't have too many predictions because they have kept so much, especially like the main plot, they've kept it so close to the vest. But I also like that there is like there's an energy and a momentum to find out what's happening, but not so much so that like I already know what's going to happen. I'm just kind of watching it to watch it.
Okay.
Respect it. I think I'm. Wait, do you want to go, Mike?
No, I was just checking. People talking about what is the last secret? That you know is going. Well, for Clement and I, we gonna be like, oh, that was the last secret. Nate probably already knows the last secret. You know what I'm saying?
No more dugging on Nate. No more dugging on Nate, dog.
Tell the American people, Nate. They want to know.
No more dugging on Nate.
Are you willing to go on record to the American people in front of the Congress and I don't know the Secret Service? I don't know, everybody in DC.
Okay, I will say, first of all, does Clement J. Bryant have to be Switzerland again?
Oh my god! Did you just refer to yourself in the third person?
Yeah, I do that. Get used to
does
it. Anyways, my predictions. The Ruthless Wonder, and I was thinking this, said that Gian and George should show up, and I think one of them will come back, and I'm hoping it's George. Personally, I'm hoping it's George. I want to see George come back. I do think that I think it's not going to be Tick that dies, or Tick is going to get really messed up. It's going to be Christina that dies. And I think that Montrose might be along with her. That's at least what I'm vibing with right now. I could be wrong, but that's what I'll say. Mike.
What I think is going to go on this whole time, we've seen Christina ahead of the game. Like she said, right. I meticulously planned this, or I planned this to the top level, whatever. She's master planned this, and she's been feeling herself through the whole show. Like she's definitely got a lot of pride, and you can't tell her nothing. Something tells me she messes up this spell some kind of way, and it actually does more damage to her than of course immortality, or it's immortality with like some kind of like weird impairment or something where she's like, the spell works, but she's blind or something. Like something weird is going to happen because she's been Miss Know-It-All the whole time. So she's got to screw something up, at least. Well, I mean, she doesn't have to, but I'm just thinking she probably going to screw something up at the last moment.
Yeah.
And I do want to see Gia come through. You know what I'm saying? Gia come and protect her man, her old man. It's not her man no more. but still come through, you know what I'm saying, be like, you know, and then George come through, maybe read the book a little bit, be like, yo, I got y'all, boom, you know what I'm saying, and then get everybody together. Now I know Nate hates that, that's why I'm saying this. So anyway, you get George together, right? Got George is reading the book, reading spells, book of names, pow, he reading it all, because you know he be reading fast. And then Gia comes through, she like, pow, beating up people, because we saw her in the dream where she was beating people up, and this time she'll use her tails to also beat up even more people. So it's gonna be awesome. And then Letty's gonna be standing in the front. They're gonna be shooting bullets and be like, "Poo-coo, poo-coo, poo-coo."
Yeah, that's a really detailed prediction.
That's my
prediction.
really
you get a screener copy or something? What the hell?
That's all gonna be like, yo.
And it's gonna be a 2-hour finale, not a 1 hour. That's my prediction.
I do think it might be longer than a regular one because there is a lot of stuff to cover still.
I mean, I'm hoping, but I ain't wishing yet until we get to next Sunday, right? Because I'm trying Sunday. Okay. Anyways,
so
you guys done? You good?
With that said, let me shout out everybody in the chat. Vera Morris, Patsy Soto, Spence, me on YouTube, Corey Toombs, Dion Detroit, Boogs Worthy. We had Tyler Bennett up in here, Brenda, Richard Cheney in the house, Tiffany Little. I might be missing somebody, but I think that might be it. Donovan Grant, Ruthless Wonder, Mostly Mosley. And if I forgot your name, and then Jenna James in the chat. Oh, what up, Jenna James? So yeah, if I missed y'all, it's not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? We still here. So from the bottom square, you know him, you love him, Nobel Peace Prize winning Clement J. Bryant.
I mean, just refer to me as Switzerland from now on. Anyways, Twitter.
Even though technically Switzerland got involved multiple times with dirty hands, but that's a whole other thing.
But at Twitter, Instagram, Clement Bryant, follow me. Thank you.
You can't bankroll people and be clean. But, but over here, you know him. Survivor, winner, champion. You also know him as the Shark Week creating. You also know him as Shark Tank winning for amazing ideas and entrepreneurial things. Nate Miller.
What's up? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm Nate Miller. You can find me everywhere at Dog Like Nate, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, because I didn't say it at all, capitalism is bad.
I
gotta say it every episode. It's like a thing.
Respect it.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah.
Respect it.
Well, capitalism is bad, y'all. We at least we need to slow it down or something. Like we need to we should consider
just a little bit.
One day.
Easing it up just a bit. Just But with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. YouTube is the hub. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, but you hit that thumbs down. We'll send Christina after you. All right? And all she going to do is show up as William, and then she going to stare at you for a long time while your boys just stand there and they ain't even going to help you out. So, podcast if you want to listen. Spotify music for them jams. And of course, we'll leave y'all with Arcatron, ARCKATRON.com. Thank you for chilling. From us to you, we're just saying peace.
Later.
Peace. You wanna give a woo for you? You want to give a woo? You want to give him a woo? You want to give him? All right, come on, Spider-Man, come on, give him a woo. This Spider-Man's loungewear. You know when he's just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Give him a woo for you. That. All right, y'all. All right, we out. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.